It seems like only yesterday KTM released the 790 Adventure R, yet here we are in 2021 and this is their new 890 Adventure R. Now, although it might look near enough identical to the 790 Adventure R, as the name suggests, it's got a bigger engine. It's got an extra 100cc, which means it also has an extra 10 horsepower. So it makes 105 horsepower now, it's north of 100. And it also has an extra 7 foot-pound of torque as well. So it's pretty hefty in terms of power and torque. They haven't just made it bigger though. The new Euro 5 engine also has a heavier crankshaft, which KTM says improves the power and torque delivery. And they've also done some work to the gearbox and clutch as well, so just make them gear shifts extra sweet. Although most of the chassis remains pretty much the same, it's got a lighter subframe and they've also given it a lighter aluminium stem, which should help it steer a bit better. Comes with the same WP Explore suspension as was on the 790, but settings have been tweaked a little bit, and although they are set up for the road as standard, if you are looking to take it off-road, if you're looking to do some green laning and stuff, you can actually go under the seat and you've got all your settings for road, you've got all your settings for luggage, you've got all your settings for green laning and even for sporty off-road stuff. So they really do have you covered with that. But it's not just the hardware that they've messed around with, they've also been hard at work on the software. Now, the 890 Adventure R comes with a whole host of gadgets. You've got your rider modes, you've got switchable traction control, ABS, you know, the job lot. Now this model we're testing today has the tech pack on it, which is just a sliver over 760 quid. And that means you get your quick shifter and your auto blipper. It means you get your rally mode. So that's if you really want to go and do some serious off-roading. And it also means you get your cruise control. Although I'm not sure why they didn't put it on a standard, because the button's on it anyway. Yeah, if you're gonna get one of these, I'd really recommend it. The shifter and the blipper are really smooth. They work an absolute treat. And although I only did some really light off-roading, you know, on gravel, on some dirt, the rally mode worked really well and it just softens off that throttle response nicely. I think if you're going to buy one of these, you've got to take into account that it is ready to rock and roll off-road. Like these Metzeler Karoo 3 tyres, they do actually offer a fair bit of grip and a fair bit of go off-road, but they aren't the best things when you're on tarmac. Like I've been riding today where it's been a bit wet and a bit groggy, and I have to say they haven't been the grippiest things in the world, but the electronics are absolutely incredible. I reckon today I've used traction control on a bike more than I ever have on any other bike in a day. If you're looking for a bike that you're going to be riding predominantly on the road, you're not really going to be taking it off-road, I'd opt for the 890 Adventure, the standard one. You know, it comes with proper standard tyres, it comes set up and ready to go. This thing isn't going to be as good on the roads, but don't get me wrong, this thing will hold its own off-road as long as it's not too groggy, because don't forget it's quite heavy. It's not an enduro bike, but for a middleweight adventure bike, it really does perform well. All in all, I'm not a hardcore talented adventure rider. I'm no Sam Sunderland, but even just the light gravel roads, you know, getting it sideways, turning the traction control off, this thing felt mega. All right, it's quite high, you have to be quite confident with it, and you know, it's with the big front wheel as well. It's not the most fluid thing on the roads, but you know, it really did impress me. It doesn't feel too heavy, it doesn't feel too big, and all in all, it's a pretty impressive bit of kit.